I think what DS Max has to offer is literally the word opportunity. This is a type of business, the sky's the limit.
The only limitation is the ones that we put on ourselves.
If you like to answer to yourself, if you want to be your own boss, if you want to have an unlimited potential in your income, then this is a business for you.
Didn't have the resume, I didn't have a lot of experience, but what I had was a burning desire to succeed.
If I could work hard to open up one office, and I knew how to open up one office, then I could open up 5, 10, 50, 100 more.
Everything that's on the face of this planet was created by somebody. What's the difference between them and you? Nothing.
As an assistant manager, I made more than $50,000 more a year.
I would say the average first-year ownership would be in a $50,000 to $75,000 range.
It's possible that if you started today, anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months later, you could be making $5,000 a week.
And we have so many examples of our first-year managers making between $4,000 and $7,000 per week.
It's all about you and your dreams and your goals, and I think that if you truly believe in yourself, you can create anything.
If you're a hard worker and ambitious, that within a couple of years you can become a VP in this company.
In understanding how to succeed in our business, I think it's real important that everyone understands there's kind of a map already set in place for you.
But for the people who want to break out of the pack and say, I know that if I work hard and if I do my best, I should be able to outperform everybody else around me. If they come to DS Max, they're going to do better here than they could anywhere.
I started training one individual 4 years ago back in Boston. He's now a vice president with DS Max, and his income over the next 12 months will be a 7-figure income.
And when I think of how many millionaires this business and this company has created, I look at, that's a source of great pride for me.
I have a real good chance to make $1 million next year.
I have so many of my friends that are millionaires today from this business.
I started in this business when I was 26 years old. I had a car, but I was sleeping in it. I was $30,000 in debt, and I was looking, for something to throw my heart and soul into. It just got bigger and bigger, and actually within a matter of about 8 months, we ran out of territory in Canada and had to open up in the United States. That's how fast things happen. I'd say within 6 months, I was actually running my own office. I, of course, had to learn the business out in the field like everyone else. I went out in the field, I built my crew. I was in the field for 6 months, and within that 6 months, I got promoted into my own office. Now, once I was running my own office, I started expanding, and that's basically where, the override money came in. That's when I started making $5,000 a week, $10,000 a week, and within about 3 years, I was up to about $20,000 a week.
The only limitation is the ones that we put on ourselves. As big as somebody thinks that they can be is as big as they're going to be, or as small as somebody says they're going to be, that's as small as they're going to be. It's really you deciding. When the company started expanding worldwide, the company didn't wake up and say, now we're going to expand worldwide. Somebody within the organization woke up and said, I want to take this opportunity and I want to take it to Australia. That's how we got to Australia. Somebody else said, hey, I want to take this opportunity and I want to go to England. That's how the company got to England. That's how it started.
When I started, the idea of us doing business with companies like Disney, Samsonite, NASCAR, Major League Baseball, some of these huge companies, it never occurred to us. And now, 80% of the product we put in the field is some type of a name brand, and these companies are after us to sell their product. That's how effective what we do is.
When we started the business, nobody really knew who we are or really what we were capable of, so nobody really, when it comes to brand names, nobody was really interested in doing business with us. As we grew, we were a little more enticing, and of course today, now we deal with companies like Disney, we're working with companies like AT&T and Sprint, the Pizza Huts, the Firestones. I mean, that's really what we're after today, is taking advantage of the size of our company and the exposure that we can give a brand name and bringing these brand names into the fold.
The work that we're doing right now here in the United States and in Canada with AT&T and our other clients, we're going to replicate all over the world. And I'm not just talking about small groups or small little clients. I'm talking about people like Texaco, like AT&T, like MCI, like Deutsche Telekom, like the cable companies, BT, British Telecom. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that are coming to us as DS Max distributors all around the world and asking us to represent them.
I work in the consumer products division at Universal Studios. Universal Studios owns hundreds of brands, and DS Max is now taking those brands and creating new products that we've never been involved with and selling them to new tiers of distribution that we've never even thought about approaching. They've really literally put us in new types of products that we haven't been involved with before, and they're putting us in new doors that we never ever would have expected because of their power at retail. We have licensed hundreds and hundreds of products with DS Max, and they are the only company that we had enough confidence in to do that with.
DS Max has been marketing for us for over 6 years now. Today we serve well over 1 million customers, have sales of over $1 billion throughout Canada and the U.S. They've actually helped us become North America's largest energy wholesaler.
We actually were just awarded Franchisee of the Year, and part of that is with DS Max because we try to do marketing outside the box, and this is one area that was able to improve our sales and do something a little bit different.
Direct selling has always been a very entrepreneurial profession, and so I think it fits in very nicely with today's environment. There's a lot of focus on entrepreneurial spirit, on self-starting, on creativity, and direct selling has always been a leader in those areas. And so I think this is a very good time for direct selling organizations.
When I left corporate America as a marketing executive, I left because I felt like I had no control over my life and my future. People who come and work with DS Max or within the DS Max organization are actually working for themselves. Their destiny and their future are in their own hands. If they come on board, if they want to work hard, and if they are successful in surrounding themselves with people who are even better than they are, they can really craft their future. They can determine what their earnings are going to be. They can determine what their lifestyle is going to be. They can really determine what their workplace and their environment is going to be because, frankly, they create it.
It's real easy to get started with DS Max because there are no prerequisites. There is no former job history required. There is no special education needed. You know, there are thousands of independent business owners spread out throughout the world. If we lined them all up in the room, you have everybody that started out as a bus boy or someone that parked cars or someone that washes dishes, and you go all the way through the different fields. So you have guys that are formerly lawyers, formerly doctors, and everything in between. And the only thing that everybody's got in common is the desire to work for themselves, own their own business, and be willing to work hard to achieve their goals.
Prior to DS Max, I've been involved in many different businesses and did everything from working in a vinegar factory for Campbell Soup to working in the oil fields to food and beverage as a waiter and a bartender.
Before I found the DS Max opportunity, I was an administrative assistant for a security alarm systems company.
Well, there was a career waitress for a while, and I worked for tips.
I was actually front desk manager of a hotel.
I was a professional baseball player, and I was coaching also with the Montreal Expos.
I trained as a medical doctor, and I worked as a pediatrician.
I was an attorney in Mexico, and I was working for the Foreign Affairs Ministry in Mexico. That's where I met my wife. And then she got posted to the Mexican Embassy in Canada. So then I had to look for different jobs. So I started in Canada, and 6 months later, I was ready to open up offices in Mexico. I started off with zero, when I came in for that day of observation. And now, in about 4 or 5 years, I built up 120 offices, and suddenly I was making about $1 million a year.
One very attractive thing about DS Max is the support system.
At every level, all the way from your brand new person coming into our business as a distributor, all the way up to running an organization with 20 to 30 offices, is that at every level you get that support system where all your questions are answered, everything's being taken care of for you at all times, which is very important for anybody starting in a business, is a support system.
Most companies I ever worked for, if I tried to get the knowledge from the manager, he wouldn't give it to me because he knew I'll end up with his job. But here, they were willing to teach me. They were willing to give me everything they had so I can advance in the business.
DS Max has a proven system which has been working and proven for years, for the last 20 years, and the system hasn't changed because the fundamentals haven't changed. We start as a distributor, we become a leader, we teach other people, we learn how to manage and motivate others, we set up our own office, we get inventory, now we learn how to do banking. There's a great support system of administrative people. Nobody's going to reinvent the wheel. It's been the same for 20 years.
You're expected to work hard. You're not expected to do anything else. You're expected to learn. You're expected to be a student. When I was brand new, one of the biggest analogies that I had about what DS Max was for me was there's a lot of educational institutions that will teach you how to do well in business. At the end of a 2-year course, you do graduate and you have a degree, and they're fantastic. They teach people and change people's lives all the time. Well, it's the exact same thing, except here you're not paying for a course. You're getting it for free, and you're finding teachers who are motivated to teach you. But you earn money all the time instead of paying for a course. And at the end of 2 years, if it takes you 2 years, instead of walking away with a diploma, you walk away with your own company that profits, generally speaking, over $100,000 a year. It's a little bit different than a piece of paper.
At DS Max, it's definitely a team atmosphere. And, you know, that starts at the very top. You know, the guys that started the company, you got to realize that I was a 19-year-old kid when I became an owner of my own business. And it was because DS Max gave me $150,000 in inventory and a handshake.
That's the strength of teamwork, and that's the strength of really, you know, having the company behind you. Because when you do start with the business, we call it earn as you learn. You are making money from day one as we are teaching you the business.
And even as a distributor these days, we have distributors coming in that are making $600, $800, $900 a week, which is unheard of in an entry-level position. Then as they advance into the leadership part of our business, where they begin learning how to deal with merchandise and clients, and there's so much more training that goes on there, you have leaders making $1,000 to $1,200 a week, which is extremely above average for 23, 24, 25-year-olds. As an assistant manager, you're making anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 per week, which is definitely great. And then obviously all the way to management, where you're managing your own crew of people, you have your client base, your merchandise that you're in charge of. And we have so many examples of first-year managers making between $4,000 and $7,000 per week.
On my first day in the DS Max opportunity, when I walked in the office, I noticed on the wall they had 4 phases. Phase 1 was distributorship, phase 2 was leadership, phase 3 was system management, phase 4 was actually ownership. And when I looked at it, it was kind of, you know, disturbing to me, because I looked at it and it looked like this must take 15, 20 years to accomplish that feat. And when I got with my promoting owner and he told me it's basically a 3 to 6 month program, I said, wow, that's pretty incredible.
In understanding how to succeed in our business, I think it's real important that everyone understands there's kind of a map already set in place for you. There's 4 levels that every person must achieve and must pass through to be able to run their own location and have their own business. Essentially, everyone runs their own business right from the beginning. But in the beginning, when we first start working with you, you're a distributor for the business. At that point in time, we're supplying you with what's necessary for you to be able to go in the field and do the sales side of the business. Once again, it's not like you got to be, you know, doing the sales for the rest of your life. It's kind of like coaching a baseball team. We need you to learn how to play all the positions so you can be the coach. Unfortunately, you've never seen this game before, and we're going to have to show you all the rules and how to play that game. So I need you to learn how to bat the ball, hit the ball, pitch the ball, catch the ball, shortstop, back, everything.
When you start in the business, you come in and you are basically a distributor.
The second piece is learning how to motivate and develop a team of people.
So we start assigning people to you that you go out and train and teach the business to. When you've trained enough of these people, when you have 3 of these people, you go from a leader to a crew leader.
This truly is where your opportunity begins, and this is where you get the opportunity to replace yourself, at which point we can make a lot more money, all of us involved, you, me, everybody.
Now you've got 3 leaders on your crew. Well, now your crew is growing that much quicker. Now you're spending a little more time in the office doing phone work, learning how to do the interviews, how to do bank deposits, a little more administrative work from the inside of the office. Once you get 5 leaders on your crew, you become an assistant manager within that office. You'll probably be spending 80% of your time in the office now shadowing the manager, watching what that manager does on a daily basis every little minute of the day.
The third phase is as an assistant manager. So at that point in time, you're actually involved in helping motivate an entire location. You're quarterbacking that location with the owner, learning how to be able to do all the little things that, you know, happen on a daily basis that are involved in running the business. Most of it's very basic. I would have to say that the majority of the work involved is in the first 2 levels, and that's really where you develop your skills. The 4th level, obviously, is when you're actually running your own location and you are the owner of that business.
The next step from there, of course, is ownership. Now you take your crew and open up your own office. And now that you have your own office, of course, your goal is to start expanding and teaching those people to do the same thing, giving them their opportunity, their own office. When you get enough people under you that you've promoted into their own office, you now become a VP of the company, a vice president of DS Max. So this is how you become financially independent, basically. It's by helping other people get their goals. The more people you put into their own operation, the more residual income you have coming in on these overrides. And that's how it grows.
I believe that we probably run a 90% success rate
with people that start up and run their own business with our formula. Now, of course, there's a human factor involved, and whether or not that person works really is the issue. We have a saying in our business that we're average people with above average desire. And if you have that desire and you're willing to do the work, we can show you how to make a lot of money. When you take a look at how many new businesses fail on a regular basis, it's a staggering number. The majority will fail in their first 5 years. That may be due to a lack of support, it may be due to a lack of money. I'm really not sure on each individual case, but I do know that the support structure with DS Max and the schooling that we get in understanding how to run our own business really is a unique attribute to the opportunity involved with DS Max.
If I could work hard to open up one office, and I knew how to open up one office, then I could open up 5, 10, 50, 100 more.
We need partners in success. And that's really what the company's been based on from day one. And when I think of how many millionaires this business and this company has created, I look at, that's a source of great pride for me.
I started training one individual 4 years ago back in Boston. He's now a vice president with DS Max, and his income over the next 12 months will be a 7-figure income. So I'm personally very proud of it, having worked with him, having trained him, and I'm so proud of the individual myself.
People ask me all the time, if I start now, does that mean that there's no opportunity left? And the answer is no.
The really unique thing about DS Max is that there's literally more opportunity today than there was 10 or 15 years ago.
Yes, this company's been doubling in size each year for the last 20 years. And we just keep expanding, offering more opportunity for people.
Because there's so many people starting every day, that forces the opportunity to continue to grow. Because as long as there's ambitious people that want to run their own business, that are willing to work hard, that's going to create more and more and more opportunity.
A guy can come in today and blow me away. Like 10 years from now, he could be way bigger than me or anybody else in the company, and that's a very exciting aspect to it. It keeps guys like me on my toes.
Realistically speaking, the opportunity is the same. It doesn't matter what division you're in.
It opens up more new divisions for the company. It opens up more countries for the company. It brings in more product lines for the company, and just opens up more ways for people to take advantage to run their own business with their own hard work.
So I'd say there's more opportunity today than actually 20 years ago.
There's no magic talent. There's no magic fairy dust. All it takes is hard work and a desire, a push. If you have that push, then you can be successful with this business.
It's for you and for what you want to create. So how big would you like your company to be? How long do you want to work at that? You have exactly this much time to be alive. Go.
It took me basically 4 days to go from distributor to leader. After that, it took me 5 months basically to get from leadership to assistant management, where as an assistant manager, I made more than $50,000 more a year. And that was pretty motivating, but then when I found out the kind of money potential you can make in phase number 4, which was ownership, I got even more excited. So 2 months later, I got promoted to ownership, and I've been an owner now for the last year. And bottom line, I'm making phenomenal money, and I'm really motivated about even taking that to another level.
That's an incredible thing to be able to bank $50,000 or $100,000 in your first year.
So for a go-getter, for somebody who wants to make it, somebody who really, looking for that opportunity where it's like, I've got all this energy, I like talking to people, I like working with people, I have a great attitude, I have fun with people, there's a person that can really, really go to the top in this business.
The business to me is all about opportunity. We all enter the ad in the paper for a job. The opportunity came along as a bonus. I think that irrespective as to whether you're in Sydney, whether you're in South Africa, whether you're in London, whether you're in America, Canada, the business is the same. It's consistent, it's pure, it's all about you and your dreams and your goals, and I think that if you truly believe in yourself, you can create anything.
I have so many of my friends that are millionaires today from this business. Well, nobody started with money or formal education or anything like that. The only common trait we all have is that we worked hard and we followed the system.
What am I on? I'm on opportunity. I don't know about you, but when you get up every day and you do something that you can literally see how significant it's going to change not only your life, but your family tree.
My success working with DS Max has allowed me the freedom to start making choices for myself. I no longer have to go to restaurants and look at the price of the meals, or go to some hotels but not go to more expensive hotels when I travel. I no longer have to shop and look at prices. Now if I want to buy something, I can buy something. I have been able to take the money out of the equation of how I live my life and achieve freedom at the age of only 30. That's how it's changed.
The most important benefit that I've gotten from running my business with DS Max, it's got to be freedom. It's freedom to run the business the way I want to run it because it's my personality. And of course now it's freedom from financial worries.
I started with 2 suits, 5 or 6 shirts, half a dozen ties. 6 years later, I oversee 100 offices, and these offices generate anywhere between 40 to 60 million in gross revenue. So it's been a tremendous journey so far.